Hello everybody, Briannon here, and we are back with our second video of the month on vision. And I'm super excited today because I get an opportunity to share my vision with you all. Not only am I excited about sharing the vision with you guys, I'm excited because this process with writing my vision down and taking it to God has been extreme hard work for me in my personal life. And when I say hard work, I mean the things that you think you have planned for your life, God will go and interrupt those type of things. And it's been shifting my heart around in so many different areas over the past 2 weeks, and I'm amazed at the journey, and I'm also just amazed that I had an opportunity to have an encounter with God like that. I'm also excited because this just goes to show that the things that you really desire for your life, and if you bring them to God and He brings it back to you, what it is that you may need to modify or whether you're on the right path or not, it just goes to show that you can live out your dreams. I think that is so amazing. I think that is so amazing. So 2 weeks ago, I came and I acknowledged 10 points when it came to writing your vision down that I wanted to share with you all. And literally right after that, I went and I wrote my vision down using those 10 points to follow. And now I'm here ready to share it with you all. It's going to be really hard for me because these things are really, really dear to my heart. Now that I have started this blog, it's literally out in the public, so I just hope that you feel my heart and you pray with me, you know, not only for my strength to share this with you all, but courage as well, because my vision is like my baby, and your vision should just be like that too. So I'm going to share with you all a brief version of my vision, and I just pray that you all, you know, feel my heart when it comes to the desires that I really do have for my life. So yeah, we're gonna get started. So number one is, what do you want in life? What is it that you want to do with your life for the rest of your life? And for me, I just want to be fabulous. And it sounds so basic, but I really do just want a fabulous life. I want to be able to walk in the path that God has truly for me. I feel like in order to have everything, you have to want nothing for yourself. And that's just the way I'm growing to be. It's not necessarily that I want to have this and this and this and this and do this. It's that I want whatever it is that God wants for me. Now, I can tell you guys that I studied mass communication and psychology when I went to college, and now I am pursuing a master's in marketing and professional counseling, ultimately to become a licensed professional counselor and to own my own private practice and counseling center. Yeah, that's what I want to do ultimately. I also want to retire early. I want to retire at like 50 because I also want to have my own jewelry line. There's so much that I want to do in life, and just to be able to see that these things can really come to pass is just truly amazing. So what I want to do with my life is just to be fabulous and have my own counseling center, to be fabulous and have my own jewelry line eventually, to be fabulous and have a life just worth living. I want a life full of travel. I want a life full of exploring. I want a life full of food. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a foodie. I will try just about anything. I like to go to different restaurants and see what it is and be fancy pantsy, you know. I like to do all of that. So that's what it is that I want to do with my life for the rest of my life. Well, number two is, what is your vision for marriage? So my vision for marriage, I love. Like, I love it. Everything about it, getting to know a person and making sure they're really down for you and going through the process and all of that. I just know that love is a process. So my vision for marriage isn't really specific. It's mainly just to make sure that God is equipping me to be the wife He's called me to be. Because in order to know that you are ready for marriage, you need to do a lot of work on yourself. So in this process of getting myself prepared to be someone's wife, I want to make sure that I know how to do wifely things, you know, cook and clean and make sure, you know, a house is a home and decorate and make sure that I can be my husband's ride or die, his number one cheerleader. and ultimately to help him become a better man. And I want to be a better woman for my husband and whoever God has called me to be in partnership with. I want to make sure that I'm well equipped for it. So my vision for marriage is very general for right now because I am young and I may have a little bit of time, but I have specifics about what it is that I want in a husband. I want him to be supportive. I want him to be very tall because I am not tall at all. I want to be able to stand behind my husband and nobody can see me. I want it. I want that. I also want my husband to be, somebody who's kind of the opposite of me. I am very analytical. I talk a lot. I'm very wordy. I have a lot of words. I want someone who simple. I want someone who can get their point across in like 5 words. I want that type of man. I do. And I want someone who's very serious about business. I want someone I could actually work with. I do. The list goes on, but ultimately I just really want to be shaped into the wife God has called me to be, because I do know that marriage is an assignment and it's something that you have to be ready for, and not everyone is equipped to be married, and not everyone will have that opportunity to be married. So as I continue to pray that God molds me into the woman he's called me to be, I also pray that he molds me into the wife that he's called me to be, because I know that eventually somebody is going to show up in my life who's destined to be with me, who's destined to make me a better woman, and I'm destined to make him a better man. And that is my vision for marriage. Number 3 is, what is your vision for family? What is your vision for family? Quite honestly, I wasn't a family oriented person until I went off to college. I mean, like, it was cool being around my family up until then, but I really didn't understand the value of family until I went off to school and had an opportunity to really miss them, and being around my parents and being around my siblings and my nieces and nephews. I really had an opportunity to see what it's like not to be around them, and I missed it. I really did. So it's really helped me understand my vision for family, because ultimately, when I do have an opportunity to have a family of my own with my husband, I want my family to be so close knit. I mean, like tight, tight. Like, I want to be that mom. I do. I want to be the classroom mom, the team mom. I want to be in all of my kids' business. I just want to be that person. So my vision for family is to make sure that my family is, number one, is close knit. Another thing that I really want for my family is something that allows us to bond together, because I'm understanding every day about connection and what it is that I want when I connect with other people. I want to be able to do the same thing for my family. So I want something that we all have in common to connect with us, and even if we have to force it, we're gonna do it, and that's just the way it's gonna be. So I mean, like Thursday night family dinner, no electronics, Thursday night movie night, or Friday night this or whatever, until my kids are old enough to go and do their own thing with their own friends. But I want to be the person who experiences the first things with their children. So where as my husband would be the first guy to take my daughter out on a date, I want my family to be something like that. I don't want my children to have to experience the world before I get a chance to show them the world. Yeah, so that's my vision for family. Number 4 is, what is your vision for personal growth and development? What is your vision for personal growth and development? So at the beginning of the year, I actually made a New Year's resolution, and I don't ever do that, but I was talking to one of my friends at the beginning of the year about how I wanted to live a balanced life. And at the time, I was really giving all of my time and my energy into my job that I had and to my education. It was pretty much it. If it wasn't school, and then I was actually working at a school, so if it didn't have anything to do with education, I was just kind of like out of it. But I really like to paint. I really like to color. I really like to do makeup. I like to sing, I like to dance, I like to do all of those things. And I wanted to make sure that at the end of the day that I was giving enough energy into both aspects of my life. Yes, education will always be the root of my heart, yes. However, I have crafts and I have talents that I possess that I really wanted to give time to. So at the beginning of the year, I wanted to make sure that in 2016 that I started to live a balanced life. And I had to start creating that time to give to me coloring, or to give to me painting, or to give to me doing makeup. And it's been a journey, but that's something that I wanted to do, because with making sure my life is balanced, it's also making sure that I'm constantly evolving in the things that I consider to be passions of mine. So it's interesting. It's been an interesting process to get to that point. But as far as my personal growth and development, I want to make sure that I'm constantly expanding in the areas that I consider to be great in. I don't want to be a jack of all trades. I want to be an expert. And that's just the way it is. I am a big perfectionist. And so I don't want to be somebody who's mediocre and all of those things. I want to be someone who, you know, you can tell that my heart is truly in these things that I'm passionate about. And yeah, and so now I work at a school, and I work at a cosmetic store, and now I have a blog, and I'm actually doing those things that I said that I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, and that's been great for my personal growth and development. So my overall vision for my personal growth and development process is to make sure that I constantly do that. Like, I stay with being able to balance my life out when it comes to things that I know that I have to do. Education, career, you know, I know I have to do, and then all the other things that I choose to do on the outside of that. Hey, my side hustles, okay? I want to make sure that I live a balanced life. Not only do I want to make sure I live a balanced life, I also want to make sure that I don't move on feeling. That has been one of my biggest problems. I am a person who's big on just not doing things if I don't feel like it. And sometimes I miss out on really great things because I don't feel like doing something or going somewhere or talking to somebody. I want to make sure that not only am I evolving when it comes to making sure I live a balanced life, that I also am evolving when it comes to feelings, because feelings are so temporary. They're so temporary, and I don't want to miss out on an opportunity because I'm making a lifelong decision over something so fickle and so temporary. So I want to make sure that my personal growth and development vision is being carried out by living a balanced life, and also making sure that I'm not operating on feelings. That's my vision for my personal growth and development. So number 5 is, what is your vision for your career and for calling? My vision for my career and for my calling. Well, I told you guys when I first went off to college, I studied mass communication and psychology. And when I first got off to school, that I wanted to become a child psychologist. And for mass communication, I wanted to be a publicist. So as the process of college continued to go on, all of that changed. I ended up studying general psychology to ultimately become a counselor, and I ended up studying general mass comm to ultimately become a public speaker. So as the journey continued, my desires changed, and it's crazy because now I am in the process of pursuing my double master's. Yes, double master's in professional counseling and marketing. Professional counseling to ultimately open my own counseling center, and marketing to help other people create brands and make them look great. It's been an interesting process, I will say. But as far as career-wise, I am trying my hardest to make steps into becoming what it is that I actually want to be. Right now, I can't do anything with my baby bachelor's, so I am still in school pursuing my master's degrees, and ultimately it's going to be great, and great enough, hopefully, for me to retire early, because I plan on retiring when I turn like 50, because I got other things to do, and I want to have my own jewelry line and own boutique and all of that. So hopefully all of that will work out the way it's working out. And as far as calling, so I'm still understanding this. I'm still trying my hardest to understand calling and purpose and doing what it is that God wants you to do. And it really it started when I was a teenager and I danced. I danced so much, guys. I actually got injured in a dance practice, and it's crazy because to this day I can't specify where I got injured because I had 3 rehearsals that day. That's how many dance teams I danced for, and that's how much time I was really given to my craft of dance at the time. Well, one of our main purposes of being on the earth is to serve, and I do believe wholeheartedly that in serving, that's when God will really show you what your calling is. Most of the time, your calling is in an area that really, makes you upset. It really makes you upset when you see things are done out of order. And yeah, I'm learning every day what my calling is. I do know that this blog is something that God has called me to, because in the process of creating this blog, things just went extremely smooth, almost to the point where it scared me, because I was expecting challenges and obstacles, and I didn't really have any problems. And that's how I knew that this is something God is calling, because when God calls something blessed, nothing can get in the way of that. And I think that's the most awesome part about it. So my vision for my career and for my calling is to ultimately be the best counselor, psychologist in the world, be the best public and motivational speaker, just be the best brand ambassador, be the best and most fabulous blogger. I have so many goals career-wise, and for my calling, I just really just want to walk. Just walk. And if God says turn right, I'll turn right. And if God says turn left, I turn left. Because at the end of the day, it's really all for His glory. And it has nothing to do with me. And as I understand the benefits of decreasing so that He can increase for the manifest of His glory, I'm good. That's all I need. That's all I need. And that's my vision for my career and for my calling. Number 6 was, what is your vision for recreation and renewal? My vision for recreation and renewal, I don't know. I've always been a person who, no matter what, always made time for themselves. Always. I know if I'm dedicating however many hours to something or my job or to people, best believe I am going to have a good 4 to 5 hours to myself at the end of every day. I am going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to make time for it. And that's just the way I've always been. So my vision for recreation and renewal will always be to make sure that I am making time for myself, because in order to give, you have to be able to make sure you're giving to yourself too. And that means that being in good health, and that means making sure that you get a great amount of sleep every night, those type of things. And I want to be able to say that I have a fulfilled life because I am able to fulfill myself and to fulfill the needs that I have. So I want to make sure that my vision for recreation and renewal is something that allows me to refresh myself each morning. And I know that God will give us refreshers. I know that, but we got to help Him out too. It's not like, okay, you can pray to God for energy when you're going to sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning and then waking up again the next day, the same day at 7 a.m. There has to be some type of giving, in order to receive. And I think that with my vision for recreation and renewal, my main goal for it is for me to be able to make sure that I am giving enough energy and enough time and dedication to myself, and making sure that I'm eating right, and making sure that I'm staying within good health, that I am sleeping well at nighttime, and all of those things. So that's my vision for recreation and renewal. Number 7 was, what is your vision for friends? Wow, my vision for friends, and it's so crazy because I never really thought about this. So I never really thought about a vision for my friends because I've always kept a large circle. And it's so crazy because as I continue to go through life, each day I'm praying that God continues to make it smaller. And when I say it blows my mind every single day that, some of your biggest cheerleaders are some of the biggest cheerleaders for your failure as well. And it's really hard for me to understand, because I've always given someone the benefit of the doubt. Always been that person. And that's just really what I have grown to understand as I began to write my vision down. When I say true hard work, I mean really real life hard work. You have to really understand that it has to be a vision for them. It has to be a vision for them. I know what type of friend that I want to have in life, and I know that as I get older, my preferences will become a lot greater, because as I continue to walk into the woman God has called me to be, I know that He is going to align me with purpose-filled and purpose-driven individuals who have the same mindset as me. I want to be able to surround myself with grinders and people who can show me, the ins and outs of being successful. I want to be able to surround myself with those who truly support me and not lift me up in public and try to tear me down in private. I want that. So I do know that there are things that I have gotten myself into, situations that I've gotten myself into, mistakes that I've made because of friends or people that I consider to be, very close to me and cool with me. And it's just like, you may want to check that, Briannon. So yeah, my vision for friends is changing each and every day as I continue to evolve and continue to grow into, the woman that I want to be. I want to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with like-minded individuals. And I know that as I continue to walk and get centered with God, He will bring those in my life who are supposed to be there. And I don't want to stress about friends falling off by the wayside, because they'll do it. They'll do it. I'm not worried about that. And I know as I continue to grow, those who are supposed to be around will, and those who aren't won't. And that's just the way it's going to be, essentially. So that's my vision for friends. Number 8 was, what is your vision for spiritual growth and development? What is your vision for spiritual growth and development? I like to believe that since maybe 2012, I've been going through the biggest transitional period of my life. I have. And each year it gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And it just hurts my heart every time I feel like I'm going through a growing pain. Because it's like, dude, how many growing pains am I going to go through? And I'm just 21. Like, I have a whole life left to live. And I'm going through this many growing pains from 16 to 21. Like, ooh, I can't take it. But yeah, I'm going through a really, really big transitional period in my life currently. And I'm not even talking about a transitional period physically. I'm talking about a spiritual transitional period. At the beginning of the year, God was really calling me higher, and I knew it, and I didn't want to acknowledge it, make it a big deal like it should have been. But yeah, He was calling me higher, and I began to pray a lot more. And I've always been a person who prayed all day. I stay in my head. I pray all day long. But I began to pray a lot more. Awkwardly, more than I do on a regular basis. And so at the time I was dating, and I was bringing up the fact that I wanted to share my prayers with my significant other at the time. And he was down for it. And I was like, okay, well, at this time it was January. So I was like, well, I'm going to start sharing my prayers with you in February. And I never did it. And I didn't do it because I felt like, what God was really trying to tell me, I wasn't trying to listen, because I knew that in order for me to be receptive to what it is that He had to tell me, I was going to have to change, a lot of things about my life. Well, long story short, He ended up, making sure that happened anyway. And now I give so much more time to God than I probably would have ever done in my life thus far. So my vision for spiritual growth and development is to make sure that I'm always adhering to the promptings of the Holy Spirit. Because when He's calling you to do something greater, when He's calling you to spend more time with Him, it's for a reason. It's totally for a reason. So I want to make sure that I'm super receptive, that I'm in a position to be receptive to his promptings and to what it is he's trying to say to me, because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to be able to help someone else. And I know that if he's calling me to something greater, he's calling me to someone too. So I want to be able to help other people, and I can't do that if I can't hear what he's trying to say to me. I feel like in the process of me being really pushed to spend a lot more time with him back in January, my life would have gone a little bit different had I adhered to what he had to say then. I'm starting to see it now that, you know, I had the power to control a lot of the situations that I've gone through over the end of 2015 up until around March or April, because I would have just said, okay, God, I surrender my will to yours, and whatever it is that you want me to do, whether that's pray a lot more or start interceding or to start a blog or whatever it is, okay. So my vision for spiritual growth and development is to, number one, make sure I'm adhering to the promptings of the Holy Spirit, yes. And to number two, be open-minded, open-hearted, and receptive to what it is that God is trying to truly say to me. Because ultimately, the goal is to help. The goal is to serve. The goal is to understand that my life is not my own. And that's my vision for spiritual growth and development. Number 9 was, what is your vision for finances? What's my vision for finances? You know, I honestly just want to, I have a goal amount of money that it is that I want to save ultimately in life that I won't disclose, but I do have an ultimate amount of money that I do want to save in life, and I'm gonna get there, yes. But one of my main goals for my finances is that I have multiple streams of income, because I already told you guys how I want to be an expert in so many different things. I want to be able to make revenue, you know, off of those things, because I do have a lot to give and I do know a lot about a lot. I want to be able to ultimately make money off of them. So my vision for finances is to have multiple streams of income, and to also be able to have enough money so that I could give, you know, the amounts that I want when it comes to helping others and serving the community and doing charity work and all of that, you know. I do ultimately want to have, you know, organizations where I give back to the community, and I do believe that in order for me to do that, I have to have the correct funding. So I am really big on making sure that in areas that I do want to eventually make money from, that I set aside a certain amount to give back. And that's really my vision for finances. Nothing super major. It's just, you know, my ultimate duty as a follower of Christ to give. And yeah, that's my vision for finances. And number 10, what is my vision for health? We're finally on 10. I feel like I've been talking for forever. My vision for health. I have the world's worst immune system. I feel like I'm always sick, and I feel like my immune system is probably the same as a 2-year-old. But my vision for health is to remain in good health and to maintain, you know, great health. And when it comes to maintaining great health, I want to be able to say that I eat, you know, right. I mean, I gotta eat whatever I want to eat, and I'm trying to get to a point where I can say that I work out, because I don't at all, like this much. But I'm really big on portion control when it comes to food. So that's really what helps me maintain my weight, if anybody wants to know. I maintain my weight through portion control, and I try my hardest not to eat after 9 o'clock. If it is after 9 o'clock and I'm hungry and I want to eat, it's something small like pretzels or crackers or grapes or cheese cubes, things like that. You want to keep it really small, because, you know, your digestive system is a little less active at nighttime, so that's when you hold on to so much. And, you know, we got to keep a figure over here. Yes, we do. But my main vision for health is just to make sure that I am maintaining good health, so that I can be a blessing to somebody. And that's it. That's my vision, guys. That's what I had to share with you all. I pray that it has helped you all, kind of understand, how to continue to go about your vision. And these are things that I have prayed over. And these are things that I've talked to God about. And yeah, He's really doing some work on my heart. And yeah, I mean, I really, if I continue to talk, I will get emotional, and I just want to, to go and be great. And just to see the process of figuring out what it is that I want to do with my life goes to show that God is ultimately in control. God is ultimately in control, and who am I to say that I don't owe any of my life to Him? I owe my whole life to Him. He continues to bless us in our iniquities. We don't deserve half of the things that He gives us, and it's crazy because at the end of the day, He still gives us a chance to have desires, when He can really just map out our lives and we just do it. And I'm grateful for my free will. I'm also grateful to have the capability to dream and have visions. And I know that as I continue to walk into this person God has called me to be, it's only going to get bigger and better and greater and, more worthy of me praising Him, because He's just doing some awesome things. And I'm not saying this hard work process is easy, because it has required me to be extremely honest with myself. I mean, more honest in areas that I wanted to be honest about. But nevertheless, God is so awesome. He's so awesome. And I'm so grateful you guys took out the time to sit here and listen to my vision. Like the vision that I have for my life. This ain't even got nothing to do with y'all, but y'all listened anyway, and I am so grateful. I just love you all, and I thank you so much for your love and your support. Don't forget, next Sunday will be our 1 month since my She Journal has launched, and I have something very special for you guys. So look out for that. Please look out for that. It's going to be pretty awesome. I love you all. My prayers are with you this week. Go in peace and be great. Bye.